Ionic compounds. You need to learn how to write the correct formula for ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are made up of positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. However, ionic compounds themselves have a net charge of zero. So you need to balance the number of negative ions and the positive ions in order to get the correct formula with a net charge of zero. For example, if we have calcium ions reacting with nitrate to give us calcium nitrate, then we need to look at the number of positive and negative charges. One calcium ion will give us 2 plus charge. And then we need to balance that. To balance that with the nitrate, we would need two nitrate ions that will give us two minus ions. So the molecular formula for calcium nitrate would be calcium and then nitrate 2 between brackets. The brackets here means that all of the NO3, we have two of these, all of these atoms. Ionic compounds. Compounds with ionic bonding always have giant ionic structure. They are called giant ionic lattice. In these structures, the ions form a closely packed regular lattice arrangement, and there are very strong electrostatic interaction between the oppositely charged ions. So as we can see here, between sodium and chloride as an ionic compound, there is regular arrangement of the ions with one positively charged ion next to the negatively charged ions. They are tightly packed and there is a strong electrostatic interaction between the oppositely charged ions that works in all directions. This affects the properties of ionic compounds. So ionic compounds, because of the very strong electrostatic interaction between the ions, they have a very high melting point. So ionic compounds are solids at room temperature and they have very high melting points because they need a lot of energy to break the electrostatic interaction between the different ions. Also, because of this giant ionic structure, the closely packed ions together, these ions are not free to move. So ionic compounds in their solid state will not conduct electricity because the ions are not free to move. However, when they melt, then the ions will be free to move and they can conduct electricity. Also, if the ionic compounds are dissolved in water, the ions can also move so they can conduct electricity.